unbox the Hiboy S2 Pro e-scooter. Let's go. Wow, this thing is pretty sweet. Inside the kit, we also have our Hiboy user manual, and inside here, we have some of our tools right here with the screws. This is the charger. We're gonna set the charger aside. Quick start guide here. It says to start off, unlock the stem, push it until you hear a click, then unfold the kickstand to support the scooter. That was intuitive. We actually already did that. Number 2, slide the handlebar into the stem. Make sure it's the right way round. Number 3, screw 4 of the screws provided with the provided Allen wrench. And 4, ensure your scooter powers on and off. Here's a look at the power functions. Short press to turn on, long press to turn off. Quick click power button twice to switch the speed mode. Press 3 times to enable off the cruise control. Green S for energy saving mode, red S for sport mode. So right now we're just attaching the handlebars with the 4 included fasteners. Only took about a minute or 2. So a cool feature of the S2 Pro is the app. You can lock the scooter, you can turn the lights on, and you can control a bunch of the settings. So the scooter only weighs 36 pounds, so someone could carry it off if they wanted to, but the lock mode is pretty effective for if they tried to scooter away with it. The harder you try to move that scooter, the more the motor kicks in and provides resistance, so the lock mode is effective at what it's doing. Now I thought about things like, what if they had a motion sensor built into the app, where if you tried to move the scooter, it would send an alarm to the nearby phone. That would be a pretty cool, useful feature to add into the app, I thought. The other thing is, where could I attach a traditional lock to the scooter? If I attach it around the handlebars, someone could possibly slip it off, unless it was a chain and you choked the chain around the stem, then it maybe wouldn't be able to slide off. The other thing I thought about is, if you didn't have the seat post in, and you didn't have a seat on your scooter, you could possibly run a cable through the hole in the deck where the seat goes, and that would provide a very solid connection for a security lock. But overall, I've been having a blast, and the lock mode on the app works really well for things like this, where I'm not too far away. I wouldn't feel too comfortable though leaving it in a big urban city on lock mode and not be around it. I feel like relying just on lock mode would likely result in me not having a scooter. That's a really good bell. That thing is loud. The scooter needs to be fully charged before putting it in storage and not using it for a long time. In order to have the scooter have the longest lifespan, you want to charge it at least every 3 months. I really like that they hid the charge port underneath the hook. It's away from the elements and it's more weatherproof. On the handlebars, you have a black and a red throttle. The black is your actual throttle. The red is your regenerative braking. When you want to brake, you can either use the disc brakes or you can use this red little throttle here, which is actually your regenerative braking, and it puts power back into the scooter. Here you can see we currently have 3 bars. You have 1 little button to interface with the display. I like that it's simple. I like that there's not a lot of clunky plastic. To me, this design is very robust and it's built to last. At a quick glance, it has a very minimalistic looking design. It looks very basic, but underneath it has tons of features like that lighting. It has disc brakes and regen brakes. The e-scooter has 10-inch tubeless tires. That is a very important feature to mention because it will impact the ride comfort if you're riding over rough terrain, but it is going to be very maintenance free. You're not going to have to worry about underinflated tires. Unlike other brands of scooters, the rear fender is very solid. Here's a look at the polymer cover plate on the underside where you could access the battery pack and such if you needed. There you can see part of the seat post. And right here is the rear suspension. It has dual shock suspension. And what I really notice is, look how thick that material is that makes up the scooter and like the rear suspension. That aircraft grade aluminum is thick. This thing can take a beating.
The front wheel has a 500 watt powerful motor, and I like the location of it because I believe it to be a more serviceable area. And the company supports the parts for their scooters. So heaven forbid something does break, you can actually get parts for it. Here's just a look at a few of the parts that they have listed on their website. As you can see, the prices are pretty affordable for the parts. And well, you know, this scooter, I just don't think is going to be causing you a lot of maintenance headaches. It really seems to be built well. The stem of the handlebar area has a hook. It's a dual purpose hook. And there's a flip up little latch on the fender, and they interface together so that way you can easily carry the scooter in folded position. The other really useful feature for the hook is that you can use it for grocery bags. Now, I would not recommend riding a scooter one-handed, but as you can see here, it is feasible. I'm riding one-handed right now, and I'm carrying groceries. I'm in the seated position and in the standing position, and it is very stable while carrying groceries. Having that slanted stem really helps. A lot of other scooters are a little bit more vertical, and I think that slanted stem really aids into the stability and controllability of steering this scooter. So rather than take the seat off, even though I like to stand up a lot, I find that the seat being on is still very useful. For one, you can mount accessories to the seat, which would be nice. The other thing is you can actually use the seat to brace your legs up against. And so it makes you feel really connected to the scooter and very stable. It is quite uncommon to find a scooter at this price point that has a seat, yet alone a folding seat. I also really like the latch system on the handle stem. It is very solid. Speaking of the seat is about a $79 option. It attaches easily with an Allen key that's included, and I think it's a great feature that really sets this scooter apart. It is at this exact moment that I am shocked that I can be having this much fun from something that only costs around $500. This scooter is not only an exceptional buy in terms of build quality and specs, but experiencing it is a whole nother thing. I'm 6'2" and I weigh roughly 205 pounds. I'm easily able to hit the 19 mile an hour max speed. I typically can get 17 to 18 miles before having to recharge, but I typically drive it in sport mode and I drive a little bit faster. If you were to keep it in eco mode, you could probably get that 20 to 25 mile range. Here on the boardwalk, you'll notice it's a pretty rough ride. That's because of those tubeless tires. But back on the pavement, it's smooth again. And if you're looking for a scooter to have as a daily commuter, you really want the reliability, and that's what tubeless tires get you.
So right now we're going uphill. Now we're going downhill.
The industry standard for scooters like this is 220 pound max rider weight, but my buddy's one of the tallest bodybuilders in the world at over 300 pounds, and he rides his very similar scooter thousands of miles. At top speed, if I need to stop quick, I use the disc brakes. They can do it in about 15 feet, but I use the regen brake more because it's super smooth.
Hey, Hiboy scooters.
How's it going, man?
What?
Someone's telling me that's gotta be ours, but it has a seat. It's different, right?
This one here, this is a Hiboy S2 Pro. And I'm a YouTuber, TikToker,
Oh, really?
and they sent it to me to review. So this is a perfect opportunity to ask you guys, are these yours?
Yes.
How do you like yours?
We love them.
Yeah? Yeah, and which model are these?
The KS4 Pro.
KS4 Pros? Okay. Wow, that's cool. It's always cool when
We can ride together if you want.
Yeah, let's do a ride.
All right, let's do it.
Sweet.
I don't know how much charge I have. I think I have 3 bars.
Okay.
3 bars.
We'll roll with it.
Are you local?
So, yeah.
So what do? You review things?
I review kayaks mostly and aquatic stuff, but more recently e-bikes, e-scooters, and yeah.
How do you like that seat?
So I'm not sure if I like the seated position or not. I think for me, being a little bit bigger, taller guy, I think I like just standing up. I think that's what I'll prefer. But it's a nice option to have. Like, so this is crazy. We just bumped into these guys, and they're on Hiboy scooters as well. They say they love them. You had the what is it, KS4s? KS4 Pro Hiboy scooters. So are yours airless tires?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the way to go.
Yeah, it's nice. You don't have to worry about whether or not the tires are running flat. It's a little bit rougher ride, but I do like that, you know, I don't have to worry about that.
Bought other scooters like a year ago and the tires popped. There's no way to get them. So we decided to go with this solid ones.
Yep.
It's the best decision we made. Going fast. We're going fast.
So as you can see, he's carving a little bit. Even with the tubeless tires, it really grips the road. It allows you to carve.
Now the KS4 Pro that you see them on is very similar to the S2 Pro that I'm on. Both of them can have seats. The KS4 Pro has a different app though. It uses the Hiboy app, and you can't customize things like acceleration and many of the other features like you can on the S2 Pro. That's one of the big changes and the reason why I like the S2 Pro slightly better. But the KS4 has a really nice display that some people might like. Also, the KS4 does not have two separate brakes.
What you like about it the most? You like the cruise control. That's one thing.
I like the cruise control. I like
the lights at night. It's
yeah,
very
because
bright.
it has like LED lights on the bottom.
Okay,
LED
that's
lights.
cool.
And I like how the screen is like big.
Oh, that is a really cool screen on that one, yeah.
Yeah, and it's fast. Like I think the top speed is 19.
19, okay.
20.
Did it come with that little case on the front, or did you have to buy those separate? Okay,
Separate, yeah.
that's cool. That might be something I have to look into. I like how it's attached.
Yeah, we put.
So let's get into my final thoughts on the pros and cons. I loved being able to see new things and explore new areas that I hadn't seen before. I also got to meet really cool people. People that have similar interests as me.
Nice.
That's beautiful.
So, went on the e-scooter, buzzed into these people here.
So why would someone buy this particular e-scooter when there's so many options on the market? Well, there's not a lot of options that have a removable folding seat at this price point, that have the mileage, the 25-mile range that they have at this price point is really, really good. That puts it easily into the top 4, I would say, for e-scooters. Then you have the very durable aluminum frame. I mean, this thing is solid. The fender is very reinforced. You're not going to have to worry about breaking it like a lot of other e-scooters. It's just built to be reliable, and it's designed to get you to work, get you to your grocery store, get you around town. This is a daily commute city scooter, essentially. It's not an off-roading scooter, but heaven forbid you do fly off the beaten path and end up in the grass or end up off-road. You're not going to fly over the handlebars. The 10-inch solid tires still provide enough cushion that you can get the job done and get to your destination. The biggest problem with this scooter is that everyone in your family is going to want one of these scooters.